Welcome back. A Nevada grand jury has indicted 6 individuals who acted as fake electors in a scheme to overturn Joe Biden's 2020 election win. Now, this is all according to the Nevada Attorney General.
That's right. The charges make Nevada the third state joining Michigan and Georgia to bring charges against those who served as fake pro-Trump electors. I sat down with our political analyst, Steve Sebelius, to talk about what's next. All right, we have the indictment in this case. And Steve Sebelius, why the charges now? This happened 3 years ago. The statute of limitations, I know, gives the AG's office 4 years. So is this a political move?
Well, that's a natural question, right? Because it comes at the beginning of a political year. Aaron Ford is a Democrat. These are Republicans. This investigation, I think, started right after the incident took place, and it's been going through ever since then. I think the prosecutors have been focused on, can they meet the elements of the statute to prove that these people not only did what they did, but that they had the intent to defraud and do what they did. And I think after a lot of discussions behind the scenes in the AG's office, they finally thought they had enough and brought it to the grand jury.
And we have the names, by the way, of the 6 Nevada electors here in this case. Why do you think the defense, what do you think they will actually say, since they actually videotape themselves allegedly committing a crime? What will their defense be?
Well, that's part of it. They'll say, we didn't think we were committing a crime, otherwise why would we have videotaped it? I think the other things they're going to say are, we relied on attorneys. The attorneys told us that we needed to do this, and we relied on their advice. The only problems with that, I think, are the fact that the Nevada Supreme Court had ruled that the Trump campaign's appeals were gone. They were dismissed. So there was no election to overturn at the time that this was done. And even members of the Trump campaign acknowledged in memos that Nevada was going to be problematic, because in the state of Nevada, the Secretary of State has to oversee this process. The Secretary of State didn't oversee the process with the Republicans out in front of the legislative building, because she was overseeing the real process with the actual electors, Joe Biden's electors that sent their certificates to DC as well. So I think those are going to be some of the arguments you're going to hear in this case as it goes to trial.
And having said that, how did they really think they could get away with this if, in fact, they are convicted of this?
I think it was, at the time, the Trump campaign, it was insisting that the election was stolen. Donald Trump to this day insists that the election was stolen, and that they were doing everything they can, no matter how outlandish or nonsensical, to try to hold on to that election. And this was part and parcel of that. This kind of scheme that was created by John Eastman, the attorney, who is now under indictment and fighting for his law license in California, came up with this, and this was a Hail Mary that they decided to go with.
And one of the names, obviously, on this list is Michael McDonald, the longest-serving chairman of the Nevada Republican Party in our state's history. Will this case impact his future in that position?
Well, you know, Michael McDonald has survived attempts to take him out by other Republicans. He has enjoyed the backing of Donald Trump throughout his entire career. Notwithstanding the fact that Trump lost the state in 2016 and in 2020, Donald Trump still backs Michael McDonald. I think as long as that is the case, Michael McDonald will remain chairman of the Republican Party. And let's be honest, Tricia, there's a lot of people in the Republican Party who don't think any crime was committed here at all. They don't think Michael McDonald or these 5 other people did anything wrong when they signed these certificates. And so I don't think they're going to be inclined to remove him from his position because of that.
All right. Steve, thank you so much for your insight.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
Glad
it.
to do it.
And we reached out to all 6 Nevada electors named in the indictment for comment, and we didn't hear back from any of them.